10 tips to help you declutter. This is about so much more than keeping your house, um, a comfortable, loving, awesome, uncrowded place to be. It is an emotional, physical challenge, especially if you make the mistake that I made, which is leaving a lot of it to too late. I did that because of depression. I did that because of trauma. I didn't want to see those things. I didn't want to navigate those memories. I didn't want to end a chapter. I wanted a life that I'm not living. And my physical space no longer reflects the life I should be living. So I've got to adjust, right? And I think we've all been there in some form or fashion. So here are 10 tips that are helping me as I currently declutter an entire floor of my home, the yuckiest floor of my home, the basement, with all those memories and all those challenges, but also I would say all those opportunities, because I'm saving precious things. I'm putting things aside, believing in a better day. And so it's also hopeful. It's just a lot. So this is what's helped me. I hope it could help you. I want you to think about this as decluttering your business, decluttering your digital life, decluttering your real life, or decluttering an actual physical space. All of these can help. And the first thing you should do is set a goal. My goal is to get that entire floor done by Tuesday at 1:30, right? So I know what it means when it's done. I know what it'll look like. And I'm not going to reach that goal to perfection. I'm going to go good enough. And I know that by Tuesday at 1:30, I've got to get this project done. So that helps me so much. But I also know that it's my responsibility to get rid of a lot of stuff. So my goals are very clear, and it helps me as I'm moving through when I feel like I just want to sit down and quit, right? If I didn't have a timeline, if I didn't have a goal, if I didn't have a vision, it would be easy to go, I have a lot going on right now. It's not the best time for me to do that, right? So the second thing is, if you can, start small. Start with a drawer, start with a dresser, start with your CDs if you're my age, start with a bathroom underneath the sink. Something simple and small, and gain momentum. Now, I'll be honest, I've been doing this for a long time, and I did do that in the beginning. But the hardest, most emotional spaces are what were always kicked to the end. And what happened as I did all those small spaces is I would defer that emotional conflict to the end, which is what I'm facing now. So I would also encourage you in those small projects to go ahead and feel those emotions and do those hard things and not just put them in your basement, right? Next is going to be to create sorting categories. This has been a tremendous asset for me. So I have a category for each of our children, I have a category for each of us, and I have a category that is households. I have a category that is donation. I have a category that is trash. And I have a category that is gifting. So some of the things that I'm going through, I know there's a friend out there that would love it, and I'm going to pay it forward. So far, my biggest pile is donation, which I love. That's what I want. We've given away some furniture. We're giving away a good bit of stuff to Goodwill right now, which is how we learned Goodwill doesn't accept hangers. So I'm also using my buy nothing or my free group on Facebook. So those are my cleaning categories. Next is to take a decluttering mindset. It completely changes everything when you're thinking, as you're looking at something, this no longer really serves me, but it could serve someone else. When I'm thinking, how will I be able to use this item in the future? The likelihood is not that high. I'll go ahead and donate it to someone else. But I'm thinking in terms of decluttering. I'm not coming from it from a space of how much of this can I afford to keep? How much of space will I have to keep this? I'm thinking all of this that is no longer serving anyone needs to go. And I want to save treasured memories along the way. I want to document important experiences along the way. Makes a big difference. Next is just one item at a time, one space at a time. I haven't put myself in a position to do this very well, but I'm adopting that by doing like one big bucket at a time. I'll work for an hour and a half, and then I'll take a half an hour break. And I'm telling you, when I go back, my mindset is so much different. I see the progress that I've made in just that hour, and I'm able to really level up and then see some things I might have been able to add to the donation pile that I thought I might want to keep, right? But one item at a time really does help. And then evaluate if something is useful for you or joyful to you. And so for me, one of my challenges is it's not a question of joy, it's a question of holding a memory. It's a question of holding an association. So I need to shift to that joy. I need to think, like here is something that gave me joy. It matches my desk, it matches my back area. I'm going to be able to put pens and pencils in it, maybe some office supplies. So that brought me joy. So I adapted it. Right. So that's a good example of that. Then you're going to be having to let go. If you have a mindfulness of attachment, this is going to be harder and harder. But if you're thinking of shedding and letting go so that you can embrace a new reality, it helps you so much because you're thinking, what can I let go to other people? What let go of anything that you might think, oh my gosh, is that valuable? What if I give it away and it's really valuable? Well, I don't know that it's valuable. And I just would love that would bless somebody else. That would be fantastic in my mind, right? So you've got to let go of thinking you're going to make a mistake. You've got to let go of thinking you could have made a bunch of money. Don't stay frozen. Don't stay trapped in a tomb of a home full of crap because you're so worried you're going to miss making 20, 30, 40, $50 on something. Bless somebody else. Your life is going to open up so much wider. The blessings that are going to flow to you, my friend, are going to be so much more incredible when you release all of that. Next is going to be to manage clutter hotspots. Now, think in your home, where does the crap always end up? Right? Maybe it's where the kids come in from the car. Maybe it's the kitchen counter where you get home from work. Maybe it's a chair in your bedroom, but manage those spaces consistently. Know that is going to be a space that always kind of gets the clutter. For me, it was always the basement because I'm fortunate enough to have a house big enough and maybe unfortunate enough to have a house big enough that I could just push my problems down there, push my emotional confrontations down there, push my memories down there so I didn't have to deal with them. But of course you have to deal with them at some point. So I would say come up with a strategy and just say, every Saturday, one of our chores is attacking those clutter hotspots. And we're just going to do rotate throughout the month, one clutter hotspot every single Saturday, however you want to do it. And it will change your life. You won't be so stressed. You won't see all that junk hanging around your day-to-day life and feel like you just can't make a way forward. Your home will become much more peaceful and the energy will flow better. Your mind will be more clear. And I'm telling you, the blessings will start flowing too. Next is to donate, sell, and dispose. We've sold some things, we've donated a ton of more things, and we've disposed of some stuff. But those three categories are so helpful because honestly, if something isn't worth you keeping at all, if something is broken and you're like, well, but I loved this phone, but it's 12 years old and it's broken, trash it, right? Do it responsibly. But if something's not worth donating, you definitely need to dispose it. And that helps you decide which category is which. And then last but not least, just try to maintain regular decluttering. This is something I'm absolutely going to adopt. My girl's grandmother did something so brilliant in their life. Every Labor Day, they would labor around their home and pick a big project. Sometimes it might be the yard, but I mean a big project, right? This is in addition to something like a regular annual thing of laying mulch. I always remember being in the basement and sorting things out in the basement or redesigning a whole room with new linens and maybe even paint and decluttering from when the kids left, her kids left, right? So think of some annual schedules that you could make maybe 4 times a year, once a quarter, where there's major decluttering that you are scheduling. Because if you don't schedule it, it feels so Herculean. It's never a good time. It always feels like you're getting kind of, I remember once one of my kids was like, hey, I'd love to bring someone home to visit, but they can't see my room the way it is. And I ran to the charge and in 2 days got the room looking good. It was actually perfect because then the room looked a lot better, but it was 2 days that I fortunately had. This is a time where I'm decluttering, where I'm really pinched for time, and the project is massive for me. So if you set those maintaining regular decluttering, it's going to help you, which is why I'm going to learn from my own mistakes and do the same. Decluttering should just be a fact of life. We are blessed if we need to declutter because it means we have all the stuff we need around us. But I'm going to encourage you to implement some of these tips now. And I want to hear what the first space you're going to declutter is because you, my friend, will be way ahead of me and you're gonna love it. I can't recommend it highly enough. Have a great weekend, everybody. I will not be seeing you here Monday live around 5 because I'll be volunteering at the Albemarle County Sheriff's Office Foundation Golf Tournament, but I will see you Tuesday. Have a great evening and